Yeah, today we're gonna play with the Dune Buggy. Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. So, I have a cool little Dune Buggy here that my buddy Mark got. I talked him into buying this. He's getting started in the off-road scene with his family. He needed something for his wife to tool around on. And he was looking at getting a little side-by-side, like I have the Yamaha Rhino or a Razor or whatever, but wasn't really ready to commit that much money. We found this Dune Buggy for 1,500 bucks. Can't hardly beat it. It's all there, but needs a little bit of stuff done to it. We already had a leaking carburetor, which we've removed, so we're going to rebuild that carburetor. We have lucked out, and through a weird circle of events, a guy who I bought some stuff from many years ago bought some stuff from me, and anyway, we kind of hit it off, and he actually knows the guy who built this Dune Buggy, so really weird circle of events. But he gave us some seats so we can get rid of these fiberglass seats here. We're either going to install these Razor seats, or he's got this one pretty nice kind of knockoff suspension seat. He also gave us some bigger rims for the back wheels here. He gave us one tire. The tires that are on here are in kind of sad shape. These front tires are in sad shape as well. And we also want to try to make an adjustable pedal assembly so we can move this forward, because my buddy's wife is about half a foot shorter than he is. So in order to reach the pedals, make it easy. Anyway, that's the lowdown of what's going to happen, hopefully, on this buggy. I have a few other things. The clutch master cylinder is leaking right here. And this throttle cable setup we don't like, and we can't really use it anyway for a adjustable pedal setup, so we're going to change that out. And we have a leak over on the right-hand side. He's thinking it's the brakes, but I'm thinking it might be the transmission seal, but we'll figure it out when we pull that off. Take a look at the brakes, and we need to install some harnesses. Lots of stuff. Anyway, we'll get it up here and get started on it. So we'll get started by rebuilding this carburetor. We got one of these MP, quality rebuild kits, and it basically says disassemble, use this as a guide, reassemble in the opposite order. Good luck. I got the carburetor installed on here and started the buggy. It started immediately, and it was making a horrible noise, and the carburetor was leaking anyway. I guess my buddy didn't tell me that it was leaking out of the throttle shaft area right here. They don't really sell bushings for that. You can drill it out and make your own bushings, but we gave a shot on the rebuild kit. I wish he would have told me that before we got that far, but we're just going to order a replacement carburetor. Anyway, the horrible noise. Well, I had started this thing later in the day. The sun was going down and I saw sparks, and the noise was coming out of here. So I have removed the alternator and the cooling fan. If you know anything about V-dubs, the alternator runs the cooling fan. That's right here. And it's supposed to be run by the alternator, and you can see it's not making proper connection in here. And also this is missing a nut, so we need to take that off and figure out what's going on. So I'm gonna get that off of there and we'll take a peek. And after a little messing around, I figured out that we were getting too much fuel pressure. I was actually using this little, I don't know what you call this thing. It's like, I guess it's like a hemostat type thing, right? Is that what they call those? pinch off IVs and stuff. But I was pinching off the fuel line and she started running pretty darn good. And then looked up, well, what do you do if you have too much fuel pressure? And what you do is you add more gaskets underneath the fuel pump. So I don't know how well you can see there. There's a couple of homemade beautiful gaskets. And the engine runs pretty good. We're still getting leakage on the throttle shaft, but it's definitely improved. This thing used to never idle. Now it idles. It runs pretty good. But I think with that fuel leakage, that also means we're getting air leakage, so it's running lean. There's a really big dead spot on this thing. Oh look, my buddy picked up these Mooney hubcaps. They look awesome on this thing. Give it that old retro look along with these chrome headlights there. We have a plan for these Razor seats. We had this suspension style seat that we were going to try to install, but this buggy's so small that it was hard to shift it in reverse with that thing even just sitting in here. So I think you'd have to kind of slide it all the way over and even like tilt it a little bit. But these Razor seats seem to fit a lot better, so I think we're going to go with them. We have an idea on how to mount those. And I have a set of 4-point harnesses here that were given to me from my buddy. But in order for us to use those, we have to punch holes in these seats. I'm going to research that. I also have some 3-points that someone gave me off of another Razor or Can-Am or something. And we kind of have mocked those in here. Don't worry, that's just temporary. But we've mocked them in. I know the 4-points will probably be better. These 3-points would be pretty convenient. So either or, we'll see. This is not a fast, super fast buggy, but you know, more safety is always better. But 3-points are an option. So we're just seeing, just kind of stuck them in the current mounting locations. All right, so we got the seat mounted in the back. And in the bottom. And then the seat belt. Try that out. Today we got Razor seats mounted and some 3-point harnesses. These are out of a Can-Am, I believe. So this is all donated stuff. I think I had these on the other day. Stuck some new tires on the front rims. And then the all-important Mooney hubcap. Yeah. We got some different rims from the back. For the back as well. Just waiting to get some tires for them. Those were also donated. And those will also take Mooney hubcaps. So this thing's gonna have a pretty old school look. But the seats are on there. Those 3-points are on there. We'd like to go with 4-point harnesses, but these will work. In order to go with 4-point harnesses, we have to cut this seat to pass it through here. And researching for some of those, I forget what they call the inserts that you put in here. So you have to cut the seat and then put this insert so it's not all raggedy, messed up. But that'll probably be it until some more parts show up. I did get some brake parts, some hoses for our attempt at making adjustable pedals. But we'll see how that all works once everything shows up. I've been back and forth between a couple of different projects, so I have failed to update on this for a little bit. Let's start in the back. The new carburetor is installed. I just rejetted it and it is running very good. I still want to double check the valves on this thing just to make sure they're in spec, but it seems like it's running fine. Replace this boot right here. There was some leakage from here and there was some leakage down here. We replaced both wheel cylinders, replaced the brake linings inside of here, and also replaced the axle seal inside underneath the drum. It's a pretty common leakage point for Volkswagens. Installed a new battery. Got the 3-point harnesses mounted up on both sides. Not sure that I am the happiest with these clamp-on upper mounts, but it's definitely going to work. It would obviously be better to have a tab welded on here. I have a welder. My welding skills are not that great, and then I can blame 5% of it on my welder not being that great either. So maybe I'll see if I can get this thing brought to a buddy who has a better welder than I do and has better welding skills than I do and have some tabs, but I'm certain these will be okay. Mounted down there. Have installed a new clutch cylinder, upgraded all the way to a Willwood, and installed this adjustable throttle cable just right here. So when we get the sliding plate for this, either fabricated or we purchase one, then that will be able to move this distance here, whatever this is. I haven't measured it, 4 inches, 6 inches. So we'll be able to move the pedals in. Before we can get to that point, though, we also have to install the braided flex hoses there, which shouldn't be too much trouble. I think I have all the fittings. For the front, we located some different tires. These are like some shaved implement tires or something, but they look awesome. And we have new tie rod ends. All 4 of those. I went through and lubed the front wheel bearings and adjusted them, and adjusted the link pins or king pins or whatever you call them. Greased the whole front end. As it is, this buggy's about 90–95% ready to go out. There's just a lot of little things that we still could do, you know, clean up some of the wiring. These lights aren't even hooked up, they're just on here for a visual right now. Really not a big fan of this setup, but it works. And the throttle cable that we have is too long. If you look, it kind of makes a S up and then down into here. It all works flawlessly, but that's just not ideal. So we got to get like a 1 foot shorter cable. And I'm trying to think of what else we want to do besides that. Oh, we need to have a whip mount, and we need to have a grab handle for the passenger. Then it would be technically legal to take off-road, but she's running good now. In fact, here, let's fire it up. I hate this thing. There we go, should be in neutral. Running good. Okay, all the hard work, and here we are in the desert to test this thing for the first time. We didn't get everything done. I think that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we were talking about painting it, and we never did hook up these lights in the front. But she's operational. We installed a whip right there. Still needs to be wired in, but we have the light. So I'm gonna hop in and we'll take her for a spin out here and show you all the hard work is paying off. It's a little squirrely here. I think we need to do some work on the steering. It doesn't seem like it's steering quite right. Doesn't feel too bad though. still needs a little bit of a adjustment and a few other little things tweaked on it before we would say that she's 100% desert ready. Got a valve cover leak there. Looks like it's leaking from the generator stand, and we need to redo this tank mount, and of course I think the steering probably is just a toe in, toe out adjustment, and a few other little minor here and there, but I think it's good for a quick desert weekend as it is. So we're going to call that a wrap on this Dune Buggy for now, and we'll see if we revisit it. The gentlemen are out here enjoying their dirt bikes. It's good to see them on 2 wheels. 4 wheels is fun, 2 wheels is fun, everything is fun out here. Okay, if you're digging what I'm putting out, give me a thumbs up. Please leave a comment down below, and if you're not already a subscriber, please consider doing so. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.